At the height of the beef, T.I. and his camp were not worried.
One song in the country, man. Let them know, man.
And by most accounts, they had won the rap battle.
Camp might have won the battle, but they ain't win the war.
Then 50 Cent leaked episode 1 of a documentary built around over 20 sexual assault allegations against T.I. and his wife, and the entire picture changed. This is how it got there. The threat that started it all. In early March 2026, 50 Cent posted and then deleted an Instagram screenshot announcing a documentary titled SurvivingTIandTiny. The caption referenced 20 sexual assault cases against T.I. and his wife. He deleted it, but the internet does not forget, and those who saw it understood exactly what it meant, because 50 Cent has a well-established track record of turning documentary threats into reality. The results have never been favorable for the person on the receiving end. That is the leak. Not a finished episode, but a preview of intent. And the reason it lands with such force has everything to do with the road that led here. 50 Cent and T.I. have carried tension for nearly 2 decades. It began as regional competition, New York versus Atlanta, and hardened into something deeply personal in 2008 when 50 Cent began publicly calling T.I. a snitch. T.I. had been arrested in October 2007 for attempting to purchase machine guns and silencers. He was facing up to 10 years. He served 1. On the G-Unit record Terminate on Sight, 50 rapped, "Get knocked with 10 machine guns, only get 12 months. Oh, we don't talk to me." That lyric did not leave T.I. alone. It followed him for years. The feud remained dormant through most of the 2010s, but in 2020 and 2021, T.I. began pushing for a versus battle, the popular platform where artists settle rap rivalries by playing hits back-to-back. 50 dismissed the idea every time. Then in February 2026, during Super Bowl weekend, T.I. appeared on the Nightcap podcast and claimed that 50 Cent had agreed to a versus and then backed out. That he ducked the smoke. That was the spark. 50 responded the way he always does, not with music first, but with social media. He posted an old T.I. Crime Stoppers public service announcement that T.I. had appeared in, which 50 used to renew the snitch narrative. He then posted a photo of T.I.'s wife, Tamika "Tiny" Harris, on Instagram on February 22, 2026, an image chosen or edited to appear unflattering, captioned to mock her appearance. That post changed everything. T.I.'s son, King Harris, went on Instagram Live immediately. What he said escalated the entire situation far beyond the boundaries of a standard rap beef.
I wanna say something about my mama. Your mama dead as fuck, nigga. Your mama dead as fuck. Go dig her up.
50 Cent's mother, Sabrina Jackson, was murdered in 1984 when 50 was 8 years old. A fact King Harris was fully aware of when he continued.
Post a picture of your motherfucking mama, nigga. She dead, nigga. Pay respect, nigga.
King Harris went directly at that wound, and he did not stop at words. He was framing his own actions as a response to how 50 started it, arguing that going at a man's deceased mother was his retaliation for 50 going at his living one.
Y'all just better tie y'all motherfucking shoes. Y'all just don't know who the fuck y'all fucking with, nigga.
The tone was not grief. It was a threat, and the internet watched all of it. The day after, on February 24th, T.I. posted a video of himself dancing with his own living mother, captioned, "Happy birthday, Mama," with one of his diss tracks playing in the background. The contrast was not subtle. Fans read it as a deliberate cut, T.I. flaunting his mother's presence while 50 has none. His son, Damani Harris, released a diss track of his own that same week, titled Ms. Jackson, on February 27, 2026. Then King Harris did something that drew a line even some of T.I.'s most loyal supporters would not cross. He wore a t-shirt printed with a photo of Sabrina Jackson, 50 Cent's deceased mother, during a diss video, mocking both her appearance and her death. Observers across hip-hop media were already reading the situation as having gone too far, and reading 50's silence as something far more calculated than retreat. That reading proved correct, because what came next was not a diss track. It was a documentary threat. It was around this point that 50 Cent posted and later deleted an Instagram screenshot threatening a documentary called SurvivingTIandTiny. The caption referenced 20 sexual assault cases. He was no longer simply trolling. He was pointing at a specific set of allegations, ones that had existed in the public sphere since 2021, and threatening to build a full production around them. That is what the title of this piece means. The leak is not a finished episode. It is 50 Cent broadcasting his playbook. And those paying attention understood exactly what it meant, because they had seen him execute it before. The allegations that make the threat real. What gives 50 Cent's documentary threat its weight is not the threat itself. It is what the documentary would be about. And that story traces back to January 2021, when the allegations against T.I. and Tiny Harris first entered the public domain. It started with Sabrina Peterson, an entrepreneur and former friend of the couple. Peterson publicly accused T.I. of threatening her with a gun during a 2009 incident. That post opened a door. Within days, Peterson said she had received messages from over 30 individuals with similar stories about the couple, stories of drugging, coercion, and assault spanning more than a decade, from 2005 to 2018. By March 2021, attorney Tyrone Blackburn publicly represented 11 accusers, 8 women alleging direct sexual assault by T.I., Tiny, or their associates, and 3 others with related claims. The allegations were specific and consistent. Women invited to parties or hotels, given drinks spiked with substances including MDMA, and then subjected to non-consensual acts. One woman alleged that in 2010, the couple forced her to take drugs and engage in sexual activity at a hotel where she could not consent. Another claimed T.I. and a male associate drugged and assaulted her in a hotel room the same year. These were not fringe claims buried in gossip blogs. Attorney Lisa Bloom also came forward representing 2 additional women. The New York Times spoke with 5 alleged victims who corroborated the pattern of drugging and assault. Blackburn sent letters to authorities in California and Georgia requesting criminal investigations, describing what he called a pattern of methodical, sadistic abuse. This is the material that had been sitting in the public record for 5 years, and that 50 Cent was now threatening to put on screen. Winning a diss track cycle and surviving a documentary built around sexual assault allegations are 2 entirely different fights. And this distinction is precisely what made the threat credible. In May 2021, the LAPD launched a formal investigation after at least 2 women filed reports. However, by September 2021, the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office declined to file charges. The statute of limitations had expired on most of the claims. The VH1 reality show T.I. and Tiny, Friends and Family Hustle was canceled. No criminal charges followed. Then in January 2024, an Air Force veteran identified as Jane Doe filed a lawsuit under California's Sexual Abuse and Cover-Up Accountability Act, which had temporarily revived expired claims. She alleged that in 2005, she met the couple in the VIP section of a Los Angeles nightclub, was handed a spiked drink by Tiny, and was taken to a hotel room where she was sexually assaulted while visibly drugged and unable to consent. T.I. and Tiny sought dismissal. In August 2024, a judge granted the motion after the plaintiff failed to respond to the couple's filings. The case was dismissed with prejudice. T.I. and Tiny have denied every allegation, calling them extortionate demands and fabricated claims. In a January 2024 statement following the Jane Doe lawsuit, they said, "We are innocent of these fake claims. We will not be shaken down, and we look forward to our day in court." No criminal charges have ever been filed. The defamation lawsuit T.I. filed against Sabrina Peterson in federal court in September 2024 remains ongoing, with a trial date set for June 2026. The legal wall held, but that only matters in a courtroom, and a documentary does not need a verdict to inflict its damage. The legal landscape provided T.I. and Tiny cover in 2021. What it cannot do is prevent a camera crew from knocking on a witness's door. But the legal outcome, or lack thereof, is not the only factor at play here, because 50 Cent is not a prosecutor. He is a producer. And what he produces, as history demonstrates, does not require a conviction to cause lasting damage. 50 Cent's playbook, how he builds a case before the camera rolls. To understand why 50 Cent's threat carries such gravity, one must understand how he operates and how deliberate the sequence always is. 50 Cent is a media mogul through his G-Unit film and television company, with a proven track record of producing expose content that targets individuals within his orbit. The pattern is consistent: social media provocation first, public framing second, production third. By the time a camera crew arrives, the audience has already been primed to watch. The documentary does not introduce the story. It closes it. And closing it is what inflicts the damage. He does not invent allegations. He packages them. He gives a story a beginning, a middle, and an end, and then he places it on a platform where millions of people can watch. That is the mechanism. And that is precisely the mechanism he is now pointing at T.I. On March 5, 2026, 50 escalated further. He posted old footage of T.I. in court and promoted Crime Stoppers hotline content specifically designed to keep the snitch narrative alive and the sexual assault allegations front of mind. His caption read, "No, I don't like it. No versus. Let's do the stay away challenge and stay away from me." It was presented as trolling, but it also functioned as a trailer. Blogger Tasha K added fuel on February 28, 2026, posting on X that sources close to 50 Cent confirmed he was actively developing the project, specifically to address the couple's alleged drugging and assault accusations. She advised the Harris family to apologize and retreat entirely, warning that 50 does not play fair. Meanwhile, 50 released a track titled "No One Told Us What We're Here For," the theme for his Power Origin series, taking shots at T.I.'s family dynamics without naming him directly. Then on March 7, 2026, he released "No More Tricks, No More Tries" featuring Max B, a track loaded with lines that, in context, read as a direct address to T.I. The lyrics included, "No more tricks, no more tries, no more believing the lies," and the caption, "I am the algorithm." That caption encapsulates the entire strategy. 50 does not merely want to respond to T.I. He wants to become the narrative. He wants to control the story before T.I. has the opportunity to tell his own version. And those paying close attention understood that the troll posts and music releases were not the main event. They were the warm-up. The point is not simply about toughness. It is about what 50 does with adversity. He converts it into content and directs it back at whoever initiated the conflict. The documentary Surviving R. Kelly, which premiered in 2019 and was watched by 26 million people, is the template everyone understands. R. Kelly was convicted in 2021. The proposed title Surviving T.I. is not subtle about the category 50 is placing this couple into. He is constructing a box around them and daring them to escape. T.I.'s response to all of this has been defiant. On March 5, 2026, he posted a video from his Let Them Know music video shoot, writing, "We can go bar for bar, hit for hit, or doc for doc. Either way, all you're going to do is show how much of a failure you are. Let's play. Nobody fears you over here." He followed with a diss track and captioned it, "50 Cent, drop whatever you choose. Just please keep showing the world you're irrelevant. Pandora's box is ajar, sir." But there is a detail worth noting. T.I. said, "Doc for doc," suggesting he has a documentary of his own in the pipeline. What he has not said is whether what he possesses can match what 50 has already built: a distribution network, a proven platform, and a public already primed to watch. The family in the middle of it. This beef did not remain between two rappers. It pulled in T.I.'s entire household, and the way each member of the Harris family responded reveals precisely how the situation escalated from a versus dispute into a documentary threat. King Harris was the flashpoint. His Instagram Live rant targeting 50 Cent's deceased mother, Sabrina Jackson, drew immediate and widespread backlash. Social media split. Some called it loyalty. Others called it a line no one should cross. Boozy Badass weighed in publicly, calling King's actions wrong, stating that mocking a dead parent is off limits regardless of what started the fight. King was not alone. The entire family mobilized. T.I.'s other son, Domani Harris, 24, a rapper in his own right, released Ms. Jackson on February 27, 2026. Domani kept the content focused on rap rather than personal attacks. Even Eris Harris, T.I. and Tiny's 9-year-old daughter, was pulled into the moment, posting a video of herself singing with a caption framing it as a response to 50 disrespecting her mother. Tiny broke her silence on Instagram, calling her sons her biggest flex for standing up for her. She viewed what they did as protection, not overreach. T.I. was more complicated. He went on record about King's behavior in a podcast interview, and what he said was not a simple endorsement. T.I. had spent years attempting to pull King back from precisely this kind of behavior. In his own words, the beef had given King a justification to unlearn everything. But T.I. also drew a line. He said he told King to stop specifically after the t-shirt incident. He explained his own position, what he said his motivation had been throughout all of this. In an interview with TMZ, he was not claiming a victory. He was claiming a purpose. And that purpose, he said, was always about the women in his household watching men stand up for them. That framing, defend rather than defeat, is important because it explains the emotional logic behind why the Harris family moved the way it did. But it also exposes the strategic vulnerability. When you fight back to protect family and your family crosses a line in the process, you have handed the other side material they did not previously possess. 50 Cent's attorneys, according to observers, were watching closely. One commentator noted, "I could almost guarantee you that 50 Cent's attorneys are looking at T.I. and his family extremely closely. One slip-up and they are going to sue T.I." 50 Cent himself addressed the mother comments in a post saying, "Yes, 50 was wrong, but King, my mom died when I was little. You said that to me." He framed himself as the wounded party. And in the court of public opinion, the t-shirt stunt gave him ground to stand on. Uncle Murda was asked about the entire situation in an interview. He was one of many voices who initially treated this like a spectacle, but even he caught himself and immediately corrected course. That one correction, "It ain't funny games," is a summary of where most observers ultimately landed. It looked like entertainment until the documentary Threat made it clear it was no longer just entertainment. What happens next and what is actually at stake? As of March 8, 2026, no documentary has been officially announced. No episode has been released on any platform. No network has confirmed a deal. What exists is a threat, a track record, and a silence that 50 Cent has carefully maintained, because the silence is doing exactly the work he needs it to do. The question of what happens next must be answered by examining what the precedents actually produced. Surviving R. Kelly premiered in 2019. It was watched by 26 million people. R. Kelly was convicted 2 years later and sentenced to 30 years. The documentary did not create the evidence that convicted him, but it organized the public's understanding of the allegations in a way that made the legal outcome feel inevitable. That is the model 50 Cent has studied and knows how to execute. T.I.'s legal situation is different. The statute of limitations has expired on most of the claims. The 2024 civil lawsuit was dismissed with prejudice. No criminal charges have been filed. But legal outcome and public perception are not the same thing. And 50 Cent has never needed a conviction to end a career. If the documentary is produced and reaches a wide platform, the potential consequences are concrete. T.I.'s touring activity for his album Kill the King could face cancellations or protests. His trap music museum and business ventures could come under heightened scrutiny. His acting credits, including his appearances in the Ant-Man films, could become uncomfortable for studios. Tiny's Escape reunion activity could be overshadowed. The real estate and media interests the couple has built over 2 decades would have a much more damaging story permanently attached to them. If the documentary is weak, if it lacks new accusers, new evidence, or new detail, it could backfire. T.I. has a defiant public posture and a fan base that has stood by him through federal gun charges, prison sentences, and years of controversy. If 50's production is perceived as a grudge piece rather than accountability journalism, it could actually harden that support. Some of T.I.'s fans have already framed 50's moves as jealousy, a reading that 50's troll persona sometimes inadvertently invites. There is also the counter-threat. T.I. said, "Doc for Doc." He has hinted at his own documentary exposing 50 Cent's past, family estrangements, and business fallouts that 50 has never had to answer for in a formal production. Whether that production exists in any real form remains unknown, but the threat creates a stalemate, or at least the appearance of one. And appearances are precisely the currency in which 50 Cent operates. Because the people who believe T.I.'s family won the rap beef portion of this, the diss tracks, the Instagram posts, the King Harris rant, are not wrong about that part. T.I.'s camp performed. They had sharper lyrics, more family energy, and the optics of protecting Tiny. But some observers remained entirely unmoved by any of it. The point being made is about 50 Cent's history of outlasting people who believed they had the upper hand on him. That skepticism captures something real. The diss track cycle is one arena. The documentary is another. And 50 has already proven he can win in that second arena at a scale the first one cannot match. King Harris had his own answer to that kind of doubt, delivered during the same Instagram live where the beef reached its most personal point. The confidence was there. What remains to be seen is whether confidence is the right currency for the fight that is actually coming. The t-shirt, the Instagram live, the gray photo, every piece of it was watched by people who are not fans, people who are evaluating what can be built into a legal or creative case. And 50 Cent, who has survived 9 gunshot wounds, a collapsed empire, and a decade of people declaring him finished, has never been a man who moved without a plan behind the chaos. The diss tracks are done. The real question, the one this entire piece has been building toward, is whether the documentary is coming. And if it does, the devastation it brings will have very little to do with bars. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click on one of the boxes on your screen to watch more similar content.